Let me tell you something real. Pain ain't just a feeling. Pain is a signal. It tells you something is happening. Something's being stretched. Something's being torn. Something's being shaped. Now I know everybody wants the success, the spotlight, the applause. But don't nobody want to talk about the process, the breaking, the late nights, the silent cries, the moments when you start to wonder, is any of this even worth it? I've been there. And I'm not talking about a role in a movie, I'm talking about real life. I remember being that kid, young, unsure, full of passion, but with nowhere to put it. No roadmap, just dreams and doubt. I didn't walk into Hollywood with open arms waiting for me. I walked into doors, slammed ones, rejections, criticism, and yeah, I questioned myself, I questioned the plan, I questioned the pain, but now, years later, when I look back, I realize something. That pain didn't come to destroy me. It came to develop me. The very things I thought were setbacks were actually setups. Every no was pushing me closer to a greater yes. Every closed door forced me to knock harder. Every failure taught me how to stand firmer. See, when you're in it, in the middle of the storm, it's hard to believe there's purpose in the pain. It just feels heavy, lonely. You're tired, your faith is tested, and nobody seems to understand. But here's what I've learned. Pain is preparation. It is not the end. It's the beginning. Think of a diamond, that beautiful, shining, precious stone. You know how it's made. Pressure, heat, time, deep in the earth where no one can see it. Long before it ever sees the light of day, it's crushed and compressed. The process is violent, it's uncomfortable, but that's what it takes, and that's what you are too. You think you're just going through hard times, but maybe, just maybe, you're being shaped, refined, molded. That trial you're walking through, it's not punishment, it's preparation. You want strength, but you don't want struggle. That's not how it works. You build mental toughness the same way you build muscle, resistance. You gotta push against something, fight through something, endure something, and when you come out the other side, you're not the same, you're stronger, wiser, sharper, and let me say this, stop comparing your path to someone else's. Stop thinking you're behind because someone else looks like they're ahead. Their chapter 10 might look beautiful, but you don't know what they went through in chapters 1 through 9. Stay in your lane. Your pain is personalized, tailored. What God has for you, it's for you and no one else. I'll never forget this moment. It was early in my career, and I auditioned for a role I knew I was born to play. I gave it everything I had. I walked out of that room knowing I delivered, but I didn't get the part. I was crushed. I started to question if I even belonged in the game. I thought, maybe this ain't for me. Maybe I'm not good enough. But years later, I realized something deeper. If I had gotten that role, I wouldn't have been available for the opportunity that changed everything for me. That closed door, it protected me, it aligned me, it didn't feel good in the moment, but it was preparing me for something bigger. That's what pain does. It builds you silently when nobody's watching. It teaches you patience. It teaches you humility. It keeps you grounded. And when your time comes, because it will, you'll be ready. You won't just walk into the moment, you'll own it. So don't run from the pain. Sit with it, learn from it, grow through it. Let it make you unshakable. Let it sharpen your vision. Let it fuel your faith. Because when it's all said and done, the most powerful people I know, they're not the ones who have had the easiest journeys. They're the ones who walked through the fire and didn't let the fire burn their identity. They're the ones who let the pain shape their purpose. Pain is preparation, and you're being prepared for something greater than you can imagine. Just hold on. You ever wake up one day feeling like you can conquer the world? Like every dream you ever had is just one step away. You feel fired up, ready to run through walls, crush goals, speak life into your vision. And then the next day, nothing. No fire, no fight, just fatigue. That's motivation. It's beautiful when it shows up. But it's slippery, fleeting, unreliable. It comes and goes like a gust of wind. And if that's all you're relying on, you'll be standing still when the wind dies down. Let me tell you what lasts, what sticks, what shows up when motivation doesn't answer the door. Discipline. Discipline is the quiet voice that wakes you up when the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. Discipline is what keeps you practicing your craft when nobody's watching, when nobody's clapping, when the results still look like failure. Discipline is doing the work every single day, no matter how you feel. I remember there was a time when I was just starting out and I was broke. Mentally, emotionally, financially. I had talent, sure, but talent doesn't carry you across the finish line. I had dreams, but dreams without discipline are just wishes. There was this acting coach I had, tough guy, real old school. He pulled me aside one day after class and said, "You got something, but potential is just a promise you haven't kept yet." That hit me hard, because I knew what he meant. He meant I couldn't just show up when I felt good. I had to show up when I didn't, when the world felt cold, when my heart was heavy, when my bank account was empty, when the lines didn't stick. When the rejections piled up, I had to show up anyway, because discipline don't care how you feel. Discipline doesn't check the weather or your mood or your circumstances. It moves regardless. And the people who go the distance, they don't rely on sparks of motivation. They're built on the rhythm of routine. You want to know who wins. It's not the one who's hyped up today and gone tomorrow. It's the one who shows up every single day. It's the person who pushes past the excuses, ignores the distractions, and stays committed when nobody's watching. That's how legacies are built, quietly. Through small, consistent actions repeated over time, and let's be honest, it's not always glamorous. Discipline doesn't always get applause. It doesn't feel exciting. It feels like sacrifice, like saying no to what's easy and yes to what's right. It's going to bed early when your friends are out partying. It's working on your craft while everyone else is binge watching comfort. It's repeating the basics so often they become part of your DNA. I'll never forget one role I took on. It was physically demanding, emotionally draining. I had to be locked in for months, no shortcuts. I trained like an athlete, studied like a scholar, lived like a monk. And there were days I wanted to quit. My body was tired, my spirit was worn, but you know what got me through? Not hype, not applause, just raw, focused, steady discipline. People see the finished product and think it's talent. Nah, what they're seeing is discipline in disguise. They're seeing the results of hundreds of early mornings, thousands of reps, endless rewrites, do-overs, and self-corrections. You want mental strength? Build discipline, because when your emotions betray you, when your passion fades, when motivation turns its back on you, discipline will carry you. It's the bridge between goals and results, the difference between quitting and finishing, between dreaming and achieving. So stop waiting to feel like it. Stop looking for the perfect mood, the perfect moment. That's fiction. Start building the habit of showing up, rain or shine, win or lose. You may not always be motivated, but if you are disciplined, you will be unstoppable, because the one who is disciplined doesn't wait for opportunity. They create it. They don't hope for strength. They build it. They don't react to life. They lead it. And when the world sees you, they'll call it talent. They'll call it genius, but you'll know the truth. It was discipline, day in, day out, no matter what. That's how you become unbreakable. Every battle you will ever fight, every obstacle, every limitation, every fear, it all starts right here in your mind. Before you lift a single weight, before you take a single step, before you speak a single word, the real war has already begun. And it's not out there, it's in here. Your mind is a battlefield, and if you don't control it, it will control you. If you don't guard it, lies will creep in. Doubt will grow like weeds. Fear will make itself at home and start rearranging your furniture. I know what it feels like to walk into a room and question if you belong there, to hear that little voice in your head whisper, "You're not good enough, they're better than you, you're going to fail." That voice doesn't shout. It whispers, it's subtle. It doesn't knock on the front door. It slips in through the cracks. And if you don't fight back, if you don't talk back, it will settle in and steal your power right from under you. I've had those moments where I was surrounded by talent, success, bright lights, and still felt like I didn't belong, like I was faking it, like at any moment someone would find me out and say, "You're not enough." But here's what I learned: that voice is not the truth. It's fear, and fear is a liar, a loud one, but a liar all the same. You gotta learn to be louder, not with noise, not with panic, but with clarity, with conviction. You have to speak to yourself like someone you love. Not someone you're trying to punish, not someone you're disappointed in, someone you believe in, because the world's already throwing punches. Life is already trying to knock you down. Don't join the fight against yourself. Don't be your own enemy. What you feed your mind matters. If all you do is consume negativity, comparison, distractions, don't be surprised when your thoughts become chaotic, when your dreams start to decay. You've got to treat your mind like your home. Keep it clean, keep it protected. Be careful who you let in. Be careful what you let stay. I wake up every morning, and before I check the news, before I check the emails, I check in with me. I get my mind right, because if my mind is right, I can handle anything. But if it's off, if I start the day feeding doubt, feeding fear, feeding anxiety, then I've already lost before I've even begun. You know what the enemy of progress is? It's not failure, it's distraction, it's mental clutter. It's letting your mind wander too far into tomorrow or sink too deep into yesterday. You gotta bring it back. Right here, right now. What can I control in this moment? What thought do I need to replace? What lie do I need to silence? There was a time I used to rehearse every failure in my head, like a movie on repeat. Every time I got rejected, every time I messed up a line, every time someone told me no, I'd play it back over and over, letting it take up space in my spirit. But one day I realized I was rehearsing defeat instead of training for victory. And that had to change, so I started changing the script. I started speaking life into myself. Not ego, not arrogance, but truth, purpose, promise. I reminded myself who I was and who I was becoming. I replaced every "I can't" with "I will." Every "I'm not ready" with "I'm getting ready." Every "I've failed" with "I've learned." Your thoughts create your reality. Your mindset builds your future. You can't have a strong life with a weak mind. You can't win the war out there if you're losing the battle in here. So be ruthless with your thoughts. Don't let just anything stay. Challenge it, question it, and if it doesn't serve your purpose, evict it. Because once your mind is locked in, once it's grounded, focused, and aligned, there is nothing and no one that can break you. You become unshakable, unstoppable, unbreakable, because the greatest power you have is how you choose to think. Pain is one of life's most powerful teachers. It doesn't knock politely. It barges in uninvited, unannounced, and unapologetic. But here's the thing about pain. It's not just there to break you. It's there to build you. If you let it, pain will become your fuel, your fire, your foundation. We all got scars. Some are on the surface. Some are buried deep beneath smiles, hidden behind laughter, masked by strength. But we all carry them. Moments that hurt us, broke us. Moments that made us question everything we believed. Loss, rejection, failure, betrayal. Life comes for all of us. Nobody escapes pain, but here's the question: what do you do with it? Some people let pain define them, others let it destroy them, but the ones who rise, the ones who stand tall even after life knocks them flat, those are the ones who use pain as a source of power. I remember the first time I truly failed. Not a little stumble, a gut-wrenching, pride-shattering kind of failure. I was young, hungry, and I thought I had it all figured out. I was up for a role that I knew would change everything. I gave it my all. And I got rejected, not quietly, not gently. I was dismissed like I didn't matter, and it hurt bad. I questioned my talent, my worth, my purpose. For a moment, I almost believed I wasn't good enough. But then I realized pain was speaking to me, not to crush me, but to challenge me, to see if I would give up or level up, to see if I would sit in the ashes or rise from them. So I made a decision. I wasn't going to let pain have the last word. I was going to turn it into something. I went back to the grind, worked harder, dug deeper. I let that rejection become a reason, not a regret. Every no I ever heard became fuel. Every closed door lit a fire under me. Every loss taught me something about who I was and who I was becoming. You see, pain is like pressure, and pressure can either crush you or create diamonds. It's all in how you respond. I know people who have been through more than any one person should bear: abuse, poverty, illness, heartbreak, and yet somehow they shine, not because they avoided the pain, but because they transformed it. They didn't let pain steal their joy. They let it sharpen their purpose. You gotta understand, your story is not meant to end in pain. That's just one chapter. You were built to overcome, to endure, to evolve. The pain you carry might be heavy, but it's shaping something powerful inside of you. Maybe someone walked out on you. Maybe life hit you with something you never saw coming. Maybe you're carrying pain that no one even knows about. And still, you're here, still standing, still breathing. That's not weakness, that's strength, that's resilience, that's proof that there's more in you than the world knows. But here's the key: you can't just sit in your suffering. You've got to process it, face it, speak to it, and then you've got to rise, use it, shape it, turn that wound into wisdom, turn that heartbreak into hunger, turn that trauma into triumph. Don't run from your pain. Lean into it, ask it what it's trying to teach you, because there's always a lesson inside the loss, always a gift buried in the grief, and if you're willing to dig, you'll find gold. Pain has a way of showing you who you really are. It strips away the surface, breaks the ego, and reveals the core of your character. You'll find strength you didn't know you had, courage you never thought you could access. You'll become someone you never would have met if life had just been easy. So the next time life knocks you down, don't ask why me, ask what now? What am I going to do with this pain? Am I going to let it define me or refine me? Because at the end of the day, it's not the pain that breaks you. It's the refusal to grow from it. Use it. Let your scars tell a story, not of defeat, but of power, of purpose, of someone who turned their deepest pain into their greatest strength. That's how you become mentally unbreakable. There's a weight a lot of people carry, and most don't even know it. It's invisible but heavy. It's the pressure to be perfect, the pressure to impress, the pressure to meet expectations you didn't even set for yourself. That kind of pressure can crush a soul, but purpose will lift you. Purpose will carry you through the fire. I've seen people chase success like it's oxygen, running toward money, fame, approval, like their worth depends on it. They wear a mask every day, smile wide for the world, but inside they're dying, because pressure without purpose is poison. You can have everything on the outside, nice car, nice house, the applause of strangers, but if you're living for the wrong reasons, it'll never be enough. It'll eat you alive. I've been there. Early in my career, I was chasing things that sparkled but didn't shine, roles that looked good but didn't feel right, opportunities that paid well but cost too much of my soul. I felt like I was winning, but I was empty. Then one day I had to ask myself, what am I really doing this for? Is it to prove something, to be liked, or is it something deeper? And that's when I started making decisions not based on pressure, but on purpose. See, pressure says you have to. Purpose says you were born to. Pressure tells you to perform. Purpose tells you to serve. Pressure wants you to race. Purpose reminds you to run your own pace. When you live with purpose, your actions are aligned with your values. You don't just react to the world, you respond with meaning. You don't let other people's timelines dictate your life. You don't chase trends, you follow your calling. One of the most powerful things you can ever do is learn to say no to things that don't align with your purpose. Even good things, even things that make sense on paper. If it doesn't serve your soul, it's not for you. And the more you grow, the more you'll be tempted by distractions dressed as opportunities. But don't be fooled. Your peace is more valuable than any paycheck. Your integrity is more important than any spotlight. You know, sometimes people ask me, what's the secret to staying grounded? I tell them, it's purpose. Knowing why I do what I do, knowing who I do it for. I don't act to get rich. I act because I believe in stories that change hearts, that shine light, that spark change. When you're anchored in purpose, the storms may shake you, but they won't break you. Fame can't make you, criticism can't shake you, failure can't stop you, because your purpose is bigger than all that. But living with purpose doesn't mean life gets easy. It means you're willing to struggle for something that matters. You're willing to fail forward. You're willing to keep going even when it's hard, because it's worth it. I remember speaking at a graduation once, telling those young minds, don't confuse movement with progress. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're building. Just because you're tired doesn't mean you're doing the right thing. You have to stop, breathe, and ask yourself, is what I'm doing taking me closer to who I'm meant to become? Purpose is not a destination, it's a way of living. It shows up in how you treat people, in the discipline you build, in the quiet choices nobody sees. You don't have to be famous to live with purpose. You don't need a big stage. Purpose starts in small moments. How you show up for your family, how you carry yourself when no one's watching, how you push through even when nobody claps for you. When you live with purpose, you become a light. Not a flicker, a fire. You ignite passion in others. You inspire without even trying, because you're walking in truth, in alignment, in power. And when pressure comes, and it will, you won't break, you won't fold. You'll stand, you'll shine, you'll keep walking, because you know you weren't built to please everyone. You were built to fulfill something bigger. So ask yourself every day, before you say yes, before you give up, before you chase the next thing, is this pressure? Or is this purpose? Because when you start living with purpose, you don't just survive, you rise. Now I want you to pause for a moment, really breathe this in. You've just walked through the battlefield of the mind. You've seen what it means to believe in yourself when no one else does, to feed your faith and starve your fear. You've learned how to master your emotions, to stand strong in the face of chaos. You've heard the truth about pain, that it's not the end of your story, but the beginning of your power. And you've felt what it means to live not for the applause, not for the pressure, but for your purpose. And I'm telling you now, this world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more resilient ones. More people who know how to fall and get back up. People who have walked through fire and still choose to shine. People who have been broken but refuse to stay shattered. You have that in you. You are that kind of person. So don't just leave here inspired. Leave here ignited, ready, focused, unshakable. From this moment forward, carry your story with pride. Stand tall in your truth. Let every scar remind you not of how you were hurt, but of how you healed, how you grew, how you rose. And when life comes at you again, and it will, don't forget what you've learned tonight. Look it in the eye and say, I've been tested. I've been through the storm, but I am still here, and I am mentally unbreakable. Thank you. God bless you. Now, go be the force the world is waiting for.